Greetings, disc golf family. I'm here to introduce you to one of the greatest champions to ever play the game, my sister, Valarie Jenkins. It is a true honor to present you to one of the finest individuals within our sport, and I'm obviously very biased. To be inducted to the Disc Golf Hall of Fame requires personal sacrifice and individual dedication to the craft over the years. And as you all know, Val was born into a disc golf family, so she has literally been around disc golf her entire life since day one. A multiple-time world champion and player of the year, you have now achieved everything that there is within the sport. This induction to the Disc Golf Hall of Fame is the pinnacle of everything you've accomplished throughout your career. The progression has been incredible to witness every step of the way, and I couldn't be more proud of everything you've been able to attain within this sport. You have truly followed in our parents' footsteps, and I can't help to think that Mom's 3 world titles helped to fuel you just a little bit. And you know that Dad is smiling down on the amazing woman you've become as you followed in his 3 greatest passions in life: travel, disc golf, and craft beer, taking all 3 of those passions to the highest levels. You embody everything that there is to be a Hall of Famer. Your world-class accolades, everything you've done to grow women's disc golf over the past 2 decades, all the players that you've inspired throughout the world, your gracious demeanor, and your outgoing attitude. I'm extremely happy for you and all you've done, and no one is more deserving of this incredible honor. You've earned every bit of it through hard work, passion, and determination, all while showcasing that beautiful smile. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Disc Golf Hall of Fame class of 2020, Valarie Jenkins.
Thank you, Avery, and hello, everyone. As much as I would love to be there in person accepting this award, I have to say technology has made this the next best thing. I am honored to be here today to have the chance to thank all of the people who have influenced my disc golf career. Now, if you would have told my 13-year-old self that someday I would be here giving an acceptance speech into the Disc Golf Hall of Fame, I would have laughed at your joke. I won't hide from it, but there was definitely a time in my life where disc golf was the last thing that I wanted to do. I was a rebellious teenager who sat in the car listening to the Backstreet Boys and reading Cosmo magazines while my parents finished their tournament rounds. It wasn't until I began making my own friends in the game and realizing I actually had some skill that I realized how amazing this sport was. First and foremost, I cannot thank my parents, Sharon and Leroy Jenkins, enough for their support. There aren't many families that had the dynamic like ours or the ability to basically be with each other every step of the way. They set the standard on family vacations tied into disc golf adventures. They passed down the traits of being competitive while still being a sportsman. The thing that I remember most is that they allowed me to make my own decisions and never pushed me into the sport. They led by example, but they also let me create my own destiny, my own way. My dad was the first in our family to find the sport of disc golf. He worked for the city and got word of a new frisbee course being installed in one of the local parks. My mom and dad gathered Avery and I up along with whatever flying saucers they had in the house and instantly became hooked on the sport from the start. It wasn't long until they were caretakers of the course, selling discs out of the family van and traveling around the region playing the nearest tournaments. This, in a nutshell, was my childhood. The things that I remember most as a kid on the course are catching crayfish in the creek and playing on the playground with my friends. It wasn't until I got a little bit older when I would, once in a while, play as my dad's partner in the Wednesday night scrambles. One of the most lasting and recent memories of my dad was when his cancer was getting the better of him, but he still got up the energy to come out and support me on the course. It was like he knew the exact moment where I had almost given all hope up and the fate of the tournament was solidified. Seeing him up on the next tee pad waiting for me would quickly snap my life back into reality. I was realizing, regardless of what had happened in my little disc golf bubble, that I should never take anything, any moment, or any person for granted. Whether they were there in person or screaming in excitement while watching live coverage, I always knew my parents had my back. But I have to say, it was my mom who was the driving force in our family. She would come up with crazy ideas, and our family was all hands on deck to help make it happen, and it usually revolved around disc golf. Whether it was meticulously manicuring Roscoe Ewing, running leagues and events just for women and children, designing and installing new courses around Northeast Ohio, or lending a hand to help other tournaments around the country run smoother, my mom always made it a point to give back. I can remember the countless times that she lost sleep thinking about what she could do next to grow the sport. It was my mom that would comment, email, and directly talk to the tournament directors, the PDGA staff, and the media, demanding equality for women on the course. Simple things that we have now, we didn't have back then. And I have to think that it was my mom's impact that played a huge role in this change. She was never afraid to speak up for what is right, and I am so thankful to have had such a strong female role model in my life. She taught Avery and I to be that somebody and make a difference. Speaking of Avery, I'll be the first to say that we had an interesting relationship as siblings, then as touring partners, then becoming world champions together. Being one of the pioneers who first made touring disc golfer a career path, I couldn't be more proud of him for choosing that. This move opened the doors for me to even have that as a possibility after high school. After graduating in 2004, I decided to jump on the road and travel with Avery for the summer. At this point, he'd been traveling for years as a touring disc golfer, and all of a sudden, his kid sister came in to crash the party. I learned so much from watching and experiencing, and Avery led by example to show me the way of the road. He showed me the determination it takes to survive, and showed me how to show my gratitude and enjoy the most out of each place we were lucky to visit along the way. Talking about my family wouldn't be complete without talking about Nate. When I first met Nate, he stayed a couple days at my parents' house in Ohio before traveling to the next event. I couldn't have told you then that this hilarious, outgoing guy from California would eventually be my husband, but I knew from the start that we would quickly become great friends. In the years to follow, and as our relationship grew, Nate and I clocked in tens of thousands of miles traveling the country in Big Blue for nearly 7 years together. I am so proud of all that we have done together in the sport, and now what we have done to create Bevel Craft Brewing. There is so much of our story left to be written, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. One more crucial piece to my disc golf puzzle is the friendship I made with another Californian, Carrie Burlager. We were an unlikely duo, but in the world of disc golf, we were the best teammates while still being fierce competitors against one another. I cannot be more grateful for Burl for taking me under her wing and bringing me on tour full-time in the RV, the Spirit. Thank you, Burl, for allowing me to experience life on the road and for always taking the long scenic routes to show me the beauty of the country, even though you knew I'd be napping the whole time. I also must thank J. Gary Dropko for the determination to get myself and my family into the conversation for the Disc Golf Hall of Fame. Thank you for all the time you committed to the nominations and for always supporting Team Jenkins. Thank you to the Disc Golf Hall of Famers for welcoming me into your elite group. You have all been an inspiration to me throughout my career, and I can only hope that I can be a glimmer of that to other generations. And finally, I couldn't have accomplished what I have without the support of all the friends I've met along the way. I couldn't possibly make a list to include everybody, but I do want to thank everyone that has always opened their doors and their homes to me, who have bought touring support discs, and who have sent positive words of encouragement from afar. Thank you. Disc golf will always hold a place in my heart, whether it's doing live commentary for the sport's best female players, volunteering to help blossoming nonprofits grow, getting out for a fun round while encouraging new women to play, or whether it's just sitting back, drinking a Bevel beer, and talking about the amazing times we had on the disc golf tour. Disc golf has made me who I am, and for that I will always be grateful. Cheers.